DSP tries it.
What is going on, everyone? DSP here, and welcome to a special edition of DSP Tries It. Now, first off, just to say this up front, I've been under the weather recently. My throat has been swollen. You can hear right now my voice is kind of strained, raspy because of this, okay? So what's the perfect thing you think of when you say, oh man, when you have a bad voice or you're under the weather, what do you want? You want soup, right? So, today's DSP Tries It is the perfect opportunity because we're going to be trying out two different products from Cup Noodles. Now, the reason that this is very pertinent, especially for now, if you are a gamer, you may be playing Final Fantasy 15, and you may not know this if you're not playing it. Cup Noodles has a giant ad space purchased in the game. They're on billboards. I'm not even kidding you. The characters actually have a freaking side mission where you have to buy cup noodles, then you have to go out and get ingredients through fighting monsters, put those ingredients into the cup noodles, and you eat it, and it's like, oh, the most delicious of gourmet ingredients. I mean, cup noodles are already good without this, but with these added ingredients, it's just so good. And it's hilarious because you can buy it, and it looks just like this. I'm not even kidding. In the game, I believe it costs like 1,000 gil or whatever, which I guess would be like the equivalent of $10 or something. And it looks just like this picture. Big, giant, juicy shrimp with delicious ramen and all these fresh vegetables, right? So, today, we're gonna try the two most popular flavors of cup noodles, both the shrimp and the chicken, okay? Now, it's hilarious because it says chicken flavor. Do you wanna know why it says chicken flavor? Because there's actually no chicken in it. I think there's chicken stock, meaning that broth made with chicken, but no actual pieces of chicken are in this. However, in the shrimp, there actually are supposed to be shrimp in the shrimp cup noodles, okay? So, you might say to yourself, wow, well, in Final Fantasy 15, right, this is considered gourmet. Gladio, one of the main characters of the game, is kissing cup noodles' ass, one of his favorite foods. He's like, oh, this is something I would eat all the time. I can't believe how delicious it is and everything. So you would say, okay, in the game it costs like 1,000 gil. How much could it possibly cost in real life, right? Well, does it cost $10 for each one, just like in Final Fantasy 15? No, it does not. All right, what about if it's gourmet food, right? $5. It's got to be $5 each. Wrong. $3. Lower. Okay. Geez, maybe it's a steal. Maybe it's a delicious gourmet meal at a budget price. $1 each. Wrong. In the United States of America, cup noodles cost 39 cents each. 39 cents. Now, I just want you to put this into perspective, okay? What else can you buy for 39 cents? Well, you can't buy a pack of gum. You can't buy a candy bar. You can't even buy, more than likely, if you went to say like a restaurant, they probably wouldn't even give you the cup of hot water required to make cup noodles for 39 cents. They probably charge you 50 cents for a cup of hot water. So, the actual cup noodles product is one of the cheapest food products you can ever get in the United States, which is why it's infamous amongst college students or university students who have next to no money. Because if they're at college, they're studying, right? They're constantly, they can't hold jobs. They're at college studying, they have no income. So this is one of the lowest budget foods you can possibly get. So I'm sure it's gonna be gourmet, just like they said in Final Fantasy 15, right? Well, before we even take a look at the flavor or how to make it, I want to rotate this to the back to show you. Oh my God. A single cup of noodles, 44% of your daily sodium, a quarter of your saturated fat. Calories are pretty decent at around 300 calories, right? That's not too bad. So honestly, a lot of these things are, but iron is actually quite high at 15%, right? I wonder if the chicken is any better or worse. Chicken is worse. Chicken actually has a higher sodium percentage. Everything else looks pretty much the same. Okay, so there's really not, oh, by the way, here you go. powdered chicken and rendered chicken fat. Those are the only ingredients in here that are really chicken. No actual pieces of chicken are present in the chicken cup noodles, which is kind of funny. So, how do you make cup noodles? Well, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta take the cup out of its cardboard container. So go ahead and do that. And right here on the top, it explains how to make it. It says, recommended cooking instructions. Go for it. Boy, I can't even read that. What does this say? Oh, boil water in a separate container, fold back the lid and add the boiling water to the inside fill line. Then close the lid again and let stand for 3 minutes. And then slurp away. Stir and enjoy, right? Do not microwave the cup. And it says it will be hot, which is why the cup is made of styrofoam, because typically styrofoam does not conduct heat well. It actually hinders heat, so therefore they don't want you to burn your hand, okay? So you might say, well, how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna sit here on my oven and boil a pot of water? No. I have a Keurig coffee maker, which pumps out boiling hot water within seconds. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't wanna just do it in here, because I'm afraid that it might not make the exact amount and therefore it might overflow. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm actually gonna come over here and get a coffee mug, okay? I'll just grab any typical one of these coffee mugs, okay? And I'm gonna fill this with hot water, and I'm gonna pour that into the cup noodles. So let's actually get this plastic off, because you see the heavy plastic on it. So I'm gonna put the camera down for a second. See if I can do it with just my hand. If not, I'll have to grab, I'm just gonna grab a knife because it's on there pretty tight. Okay. All right, got the plastic off. Now, I just want to show you, I'm actually going to peel this back, because you need to peel off the top anyway. See if I can manage to do it in a way that you can actually see what's inside. There we go. Wow. All right. So, Cup Noodles, the amazing gourmet product as advertised throughout all of Final Fantasy 15. Here's what it looks like. Oh yeah. Doesn't that just look ultra appetizing? I'll actually give it a whiff. Basically, I smell two things. I smell salt, and I smell a seasoning that kind of smells like seafood. Okay, being that this is the shrimp one, I'm not surprised, okay? Now, just to give you some comparison size-wise, this is Cup Noodles. This is a standard, I believe, 16-ounce glass. I actually have cherry juice in there right now. So, a standard Cup Noodles is actually about, I'm looking at it now, 2.25 ounces dry. But once it actually fills up, it's probably about 6 to 8 ounces with the hot water in it, okay? So that's about the size. So, I'm supposed to make hot water, pour it in there to the fill line, and I'm assuming the fill line would be that line you see above the top of the styrofoam there, okay? And then mix it up and let it sit for about 3 minutes, they said. So what I'll actually do here is I'll open up the other one, the chicken. Okay. And we'll take a look at what that one looks like on the inside too. What is funny is you can't see any shrimp inside of this shrimp flavored one. There's just no shrimp visible. Okay, so notable differences. The shrimp is brownish, right? A brownish seasoning to it. And I see a few pieces of carrot or whatever, but I don't see any shrimp. In the chicken one, it's very yellow, okay? And I'll actually give it a whiff. Oh yeah, it smells like chicken stock. It does. It smells like any kind of chicken stock or chicken broth that you would get. This one actually has dried pieces of corn in it, okay? So, here's what we'll do. Let's go over here. The mug is in position under my Keurig coffee maker. Now to get this to work, I have to simulate like I'm putting in a thing to make coffee. So I open it and then I close it. Now it thinks I put a coffee thing in there, okay? Press the button. And it's gonna pump out boiling hot water. Incidentally, about 8 ounces worth, which is about a typical coffee cup. Now, will this be enough to fill the cup noodles to the fill line, or will we need a second one? We'll have to see. Okay. There's our hot water. Looks like there's one or two pieces of... Oh no, it was a bubble. I thought it was a piece of coffee. It's not a bubble in there. All right, so I'm gonna attempt to pour this into the cup noodles and not make a mess. See how this goes. It's probably gonna make a mess. It did. It's going. Oh my god, this mug sucks because it has this rounded lip. It doesn't pour out properly. So that was not even nearly enough water, and now my entire countertop is covered in water because this coffee mug is not a good one for pouring out stuff. Of course, all my other ones are in the freaking wash right now. Of course. So, I guess it's time to dry my countertop, and then we'll try again. We'll make a second batch of water here. What a mess I have made. But yeah, not even close to the fill line with whatever I got in there. Nope. So we got to do it again. Okay. So while that's going, I'll come over here. So with the little water that's added, it did actually pick up with flavor. I could smell it a little more, but it certainly doesn't look very appetizing, does it? Okay. The second batch of water popping out behind me right now. And what I'll actually do this time, I'm gonna come over here. I have these mats that are by my sink. These are drying mats, so when we wash dishes, we put them here to dry. This way, if it spills, it'll just spill onto the drying mat and I won't have to dry it up. It'll naturally evaporate. Okay. Cup number 2. And oh, almost to the fill line, almost. Aha, okay. It is to the fill line on our first cup noodles. Whoa, and you saw what happened? The noodles just floated to the top. So we'll move that to the side to absorb the water. I'll grab the second cup noodles, which is the chicken, and we'll get this one going. With the remainder of water, pour that right in here. And get to work on my next cup. While I'm doing that, I'll grab a spoon and I'll begin to stir in the water into the shrimp cup noodles. Boy, it is just one block of noodles. Look at it. It is a block of dried noodle. And as you can see, the broth in this is dark and brown. A dark brown broth. I've still yet to see a single shrimp. I see no shrimp in this. Seriously, I don't see any shrimp at all. Look, it's just a big mound of noodles. I'm stirring it constantly here looking. I don't see a single shrimp in this shrimp one. None. I see carrots. I see whatever that green seasoning is, right? I see tons of that. I don't see a single shrimp. I think they're full of crap. Even though the advertisement right on it, with delicious giant juicy shrimp. Not a single shrimp. For 39 cents, what do you expect, right? Alright, so that's supposed to soak. That's soaking. Here we go. And boom, to the fill line. Beautiful. Okay. So it looks like it takes about a standard cup and a half of typical, a teacup or coffee cup in order to fill one of these cup noodles. So I'm still stirring my shrimp. In a moment, I'll head over to the chicken. There is no shrimp. There's not a single one. Take a look at that. I mean, maybe once I start to eat it, maybe then I'll find one, but right now, I mean, where could it possibly be hiding in there, you know? Now here's the chicken. Let's break up these noodles, okay? So here is an empty block, big block of dried noodles. So the chicken one didn't say it had chicken in it. It said it had chicken powder. Chicken powder. So basically insanely finely ground chicken. And you gotta wonder, what part of the chicken, right, would they actually chop up into powder and put into a cup noodles? Probably like the assholes and elbows, right? The pieces that no one else wants to eat, no one would buy at the grocery store or the market. That's probably what they put inside of this. Oh my God. It's just an incredible amount of noodles, you know, for the size of the cup. If anything, you wish maybe they would have put more ingredients in there to be part of the broth, like more vegetables, more, you know what I mean? And less noodles. But let's face it, the noodles are probably the least expensive ingredient in this thing, which is why it's 39 cents for a cup. So this one's getting nicely stirred now. By now, our shrimp should almost be ready, right? I said 3 minutes. So it should almost be ready to go. All right, so I'm just gonna let that chicken sit there for a bit. I'm gonna final stir our shrimp. Actually, typically, honestly, it looks like the shrimp actually became a little better. Like the noodles spread out a little more. Oh yeah, doesn't that just look just like it looks like in Final Fantasy 15? Look, there's what it looks like in Final Fantasy 15 and on the package itself. And here's the reality. Not false advertising at all, right guys and gals? No, of course not. No. Couldn't accuse them of false advertising. Come on. All right, I'm gonna go grab a napkin because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to eat this, it's gonna go everywhere. All right. Now for what you've been waiting for. I'm actually gonna taste cup noodles for the first time since I was a kid. I had these when I was a kid, and that was it. I haven't had them since then, okay? So, what I'm gonna do, let me get the chicken out of here while that gets ready. Shrimp. With shrimp, not shrimp flavored, with shrimp, supposed to have shrimp in it. Okay, whatever you say. Let's first of all just take a taste of the liquid itself without noodles. Okay. Okay. It tastes like, not too salty. It actually tastes just like kind of seasoned water. I'm not even kidding you. It tastes like seasoned water. It doesn't taste like shrimp at all. Not at all, okay? All right, let me get another sip. Nope. There's not a single inkling of a shrimp flavoring. It's basically just seasoned water. Wow. All right, well, maybe the proof is in the noodles. Let's give the noodles a taste and let's see what those taste like. And try to get a spoon. Oh, wow. It's even hard to get a spoon of noodle. Look. It's incredibly difficult to get a spoon of noodle out of it because they all pull away from you. I might need a fork. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna get a fork. I don't think I could eat this without a fork. So I think what I'm gonna have to do here, okay, I think I'm gonna have to take this fork and kind of twirl to get the noodles to catch on the fork. See that? So now when I pull up, now I can get a mouthful of noodles versus before with the spoon, they would all just fall off. All right, so I'm gonna take a bite of this. All right. Oh, by the way, now that I have the fork, I can actually go through the noodles a lot better. See that? And I can 100% tell you, there is not a single piece of shrimp in this with shrimp cup of noodles. They 100% lied. It's complete false advertising, and I did not get one with any shrimp, not even a single one. It's just noodles and liquid and seasonings. That's it. Before I say anything, I'm gonna take another forkful, get a taste, and then I'll let you know what I think. All right, there's good news and bad news. The good news is it's not horrible. It actually is palatable. Like it's not upsetting my stomach. It tastes pretty good actually. It's basically just basic seasonings, like I said, with noodles and broth. The noodles, you can't taste egg, you can't taste anything. They're just kind of there. They taste like a generic noodle, all right? You know, honestly, kind of more like chemicals than anything else, which is kind of what you would expect. And Yeah, it's there. But the good news is, it actually is helping my throat a lot. It's actually pretty warm, and it nicely is kind of soothing my sore throat. So with anything, what we may be finding today is that cup noodles is what you want when you have a sore throat. It'll make your throat feel better, okay? Now let's scoot over to the chicken. The chicken has corn, which is an added ingredient that the shrimp did not have, okay? Maybe the chicken tastes more like chicken. At least we know there's ground chicken powder in this thing. This tastes nothing like shrimp at all and has no shrimp in it. Let's see what the chicken tastes like. Here we go. Oh boy. Wow. Whew. Well, oh my God. Right off the bat, whew, I can tell you the chicken is way more salty than the shrimp. I can taste it. Now it's weird because if remember we looked at the labels and it said shrimp has 44% of your sodium and chicken has 45%. I would say bullshit. I don't think that those are correct, at least for the batch that I'm eating here. This is much more salty than this, but it also has more flavor, okay? So what I'm actually gonna do, since I did this with the shrimp, I'm gonna take a couple pieces of corn and just the broth and taste that. So now here's the thing. The fact that this one has corn and the corn is very sweet is an added bonus. Because with the shrimp, you're just getting the same flavor constantly throughout. There's no added ingredient in there. It's just seasoning, 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 and you have to deal with that seasoning, right? Here, well, that's my hamster drinking water. If you're wondering what that noise is. Here, the saltiness of the broth is very salty, but it's being combined with the sweetness of the corn actually tastes better in my opinion. I'm actually gonna do one more forkful of the chicken, and then I'm gonna give you my final verdict on cup noodles. Here we go. Yeah. I would say that the chicken cup noodles is actually far more tasty than the shrimp. The shrimp, sadly, is a one-trick pony. If you don't like the flavoring of the seasoning of the shrimp, there's not much you can do about it. It is what it is. If this one, you get not only the seasoning of the chicken stock flavoring with the salt, but you also get the conjecture of the sweetness of the corn and the other ingredients that are in it, okay? Now, here's the thing. If my shrimp had actually had shrimp in it, it might have been better. Because this one has no chicken. It's just ground powdered chicken, okay? It's guaranteed not to have any chunks of chicken in it. It's not even advertised to have chunks of chicken in it. This one was supposed to have shrimp. This is blatant false advertisement. So if you've played Final Fantasy 15, right? And you looked at the picture like, oh man, that looks amazing. Cup noodles, the advertisements everywhere. And oh my God, it looks so good. Now you know the truth. This is why I was making fun of it and why most people who see that and have had it before are making fun of it. This is far from a gourmet product. This is the bottom of the barrel. You can't get a TV dinner or a microwave dinner or any kind of food prep for cheaper than this. This is the lowest, cheapest way to eat. It's also one of the most unhealthy due to the insanely high sodium content, okay? But hey, if you're strapped for cash and you need a quick meal and you have access to hot water, this is the way to do it, right? Again, like I said, this is why college and university students, this is huge for them. Ranked directly against each other. On looks, you would think that the shrimp is just gonna be much better because it has shrimp in it while the chicken doesn't. However, mine had none, okay? My chicken had corn, which made it better, ultimately, than the shrimp. So I'm gonna give the shrimp cup noodles a 1.5 out of 5. It's not disgusting, it's palatable, it certainly isn't anything I would want to eat a giant tub of. In fact, even just eating this one cup of it might be a little bit too much. It's not bad tasting, but it doesn't taste like shrimp, and there's no shrimp in it despite the advertising. If this tasted more like shrimp and had more shrimp in it, I might give it like a 3 or 3.5. Right now, the only reason it gets a 1.5, sadly, is because it's cheap. It's one of the cheapest forms of food you can get, okay? The chicken cup noodles, I'm gonna give a 2 out of 5 because it actually tastes better than the shrimp. There's no false advertising. It never said that it had chicken in it. It says chicken flavor, okay? And with the corn, to juxtapose the insane saltiness of it, it actually makes it tastier than this. However, it is less healthy for you because it has more sodium in it. Again, the only reason they get the rankings they have is because of the cost. If these cost $1 or $2, they would be like 0, okay? But because they're so cheap, they're not terrible products, they're just bad products. And they do have a couple more flavors, but the bottom line is you've seen the 2 staple flavors. Do you really trust if you get another flavor of cup noodles that it's gonna have any of the ingredients in it that they claim? No, it's blatant false advertising to eat a crappy level product just because you're poor, basically. So, cup noodles with shrimp, 1.5 out of 5. Cup noodles with chicken, or excuse me, I screwed that up. Cup noodles, chicken flavor, 2 out of 5. I don't recommend it unless you're strapped for cash, or if you're like me, your voice is really killing you, your throat is swollen. It actually is soothing my throat, and I am gonna have a little more of each because I know it's gonna soothe my throat and make me feel a little better. That's pretty much the main focal point, or if you don't have a lot of money, it's a quick meal. That's it for DSP Tries It, everyone. Final Fantasy 15 Special Edition. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.